home of American Kempo Karate Systems. I am Mr. Fred Please, and what I am demonstrating for you today is Ed Parker's technique called Sword of Destruction. Sword of Destruction is one of the base or foundational techniques. If you are following us along in the system, we know that the very first technique is called Delayed Sword, and that is for a right attack, whether it's a grab or a punch. Then there's alternating maces, which is a two-handed push. Now, next in the evolution becomes Sword of Destruction because it's a left punch. Now, if you have studied or practiced Delayed Sword, you'll remember that when the right attack comes, you do an inward block, snapping kick, outward chop. Sword of Destruction is the mirror opposite of that technique. So what's happening now, and again, I'm going to slow this down. Delayed Sword does for a right attack, whether it's a punch or it's a grab, it's a right inward block in my right neutral stance, snapping kick, right outward chopping block. Sword of Destruction is for a left punch. So for a left punch, I'm still going to stay in my right neutral stance as I do a right outward block. And those of you who are a little more advanced, notice that it's a right self-defense outward block. And we'll get into that in a little bit. Same snap and kick, boom. Now it's an inward chop. Bah. So again, for a left punch, probably hooking, there's that right outward block. It's an oh my gosh, OMG. That's a left punch, not a right. No problem. Snap and kick, inward chop. Now I'm going to physically switch. I'm going to let my uke become the tore. So again, this is one that's catching you off guard. You think your attacker is probably going to attack with the right, and all of a sudden, boom, here comes the left. So immediately you're going to step back because what do we learn? Distance is our best friend. Especially now. So as we step back, he's going to snap into that block. Now from here, I'm going to keep kind of pressing, and that's where that snapping kick comes in. Now he's going to follow my arm to find my neck. Bah! And chop, just like that. So again, he is in a position. Okay, he's gone through all the warnings. We know this by now. So here comes that left hooking punch. He steps back, boom. Now, notice the neutral stance. Toes are going the same direction. Good, strong neutral stance. Now from here, he's going to throw that snapping kick. And he's going to follow the arm in. Bam. Now, what I love about this technique is Ed Parker would teach the idea that attitude dictates response. So here's the story. If we're switched again. Ed Parker would take the time to show this as a theory or an idea. So say Freddie doesn't necessarily believe that I'm any good at karate. So he just kind of swings his arm. Well, I just go, come on, dude, get out of here with that. Now if we switch, and now he's under a little bit of duress and I'm really trying to smash him, he's gonna change how he does the technique. So now he's gonna step back, he's gonna slam that block, slam that kick, slam that chop, pop! So attitude dictates response, meaning that if I'm coming at you sort of half-hearted attack, you can pull this technique off in a sort of a non-threatening way or, kind of casual self-defense. If the situation dictates that they're coming at you hard and fast, boom, boom, yeah! That's where you can really bring the noise on this technique. So I really am a big fan of Sword of Destruction because one, very simple. Two, it's the mirror opposite of what you've learned in Delayed Sword. And three, you can gauge the situation and you can gauge your reaction to the situation. So one more time, it's a left hooking punch. I step back right neutral, outward block, snap and kick, inward chop. Sword of Destruction. Go ahead and practice.